Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and to those of you watching the recorded version after the fact. My name is Mike Bryant, and you're about to go with me on a very strange trip. This is something that was new to me this year in 2016, and that is, we'll get to that, the case study that is. YouTube, however, is not new to me. Back in 2006, I was a hotel manager and streaming the timeline of MySpace, and up pops a link to a video that as soon as I saw the title, I knew I had to watch it. And so that was my first YouTube video that I can remember watching. There's all the other favorites, Charlie Bit Me, you know, and Chocolate Rain. I'm trying to think about 2006, 10 years ago. It's gone by fast. Anyways, Star Wars Kid, I watched this video at least 100 times and shared it at least 100 times on MySpace, of course. But then things changed quickly in that era, as if you don't already know. So a year later, I jumped on YouTube and started my own channel, and had no idea what I was doing. It was so random, and it was just basically family funny videos that shared with brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. And then one of my videos, a weird video of a shoe collection, took off in 2008. Got 100,000 views in a couple months. And so then that's when I really started taking notice and just kind of studied it for about 4 years, and then started experimenting with my own, you know, just sharing some of my graphic design and illustration stuff and Photoshop stuff, and just playing around within those communities, playing with keywords and tags, and just seeing what would happen. And it was a fun experiment. I spent a lot of 2012 playing around with some newsjacking techniques. But other places I like to hang out online, this is my eBay profile. Been a seller on eBay since 1999. One of my other favorites is TripAdvisor. Been a contributor here, writing reviews. My background in events comes from the hospitality industry. I used to host big conferences and conventions at hotels that I managed. And so TripAdvisor is near and dear to my heart. But let's go back to YouTube. So this is the home screen. This is a home screen you're looking at that is raw. You're not logged in, you're not signed in. So as you can see, you've got recommended videos, and it's broken down into categories. And I believe the categories here are probably from the videos that I've watched on the same IP address. So even though I'm not signed in, Google, YouTube, they're doing things right. They know that certain videos have been watched from this IP address, so they're still getting that recommendation in there that matches this location. So if you go to the next one, the trending page, this is where the marketers take over. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 list videos, and no, 5. There is one in the thumbnail. So the trending videos, slightly different than the home page, but you know, it just gives you a different view, gives you a little bit more information. You can read the entire title and a little snippet of the description. You can also see the view counts and how long it is, but the thumbnails look like they get a little bit bigger. But then when you go and sign in, things change even more. Once again, Google, YouTube, they've dialed this in. They're delivering to me based on my history, based on my subscriptions, a combination of the two. So I know I'm logged in because the first video up there is Star Wars. And so we've got some Rogue One trailers, Saturday Night Live, and one of my longest subscriptions to Gary Vaynerchuk. And but let's see what the next screen looks like. they've added one. So you've got the subscription screen. We'll look at that next. So here on the left, I've got a list of all my subscriptions, and this is the work-related channel. So you go up to the top, you see more some familiar faces for the Digital Olympus crowd. We've got some SEMrush, Stone Temple, and over here you got BuzzSumo. And I was invited to an event from BuzzSumo a couple weeks ago. I didn't get the chance to attend. I think it was a webinar broadcast of some sort. So with my subscription, I can go back, watch that content. But here's what we're going to talk about today. You're watching content. This is the desktop version. Mobile is a little bit different. The suggested videos kind of scroll along the bottom, and they might pop up if you pause. And then they also pop up at the end of the play of the video. But on desktop, we can see that all the suggested videos are on the right-hand column. And then in the last couple of years, YouTube started by default turning on the autoplay for the next recommended video. So if you let that sit at the end of Secrets of Link-Worthy Content by BuzzSumo and Steve Rayson's crew, what's going to happen next is this next video at the top of the list is automatically going to start playing. But what they do is they mix it in with that top trending content, also stuff that's based on your view history. But then it's kind of sprinkled in. Here's some more BuzzSumo down as we get down lower. And if you scroll below the fold, there's even more BuzzSumo content. So I look at this as an interesting way for content to be delivered. YouTube is kind of a world in it of itself. It's also a tool. It's also an entertainment platform. It's also a live event platform as we're using it here today. So it serves multiple purposes. And for us as marketers, agencies helping clients, we also use it for different purposes. So then we're gonna slam on the brakes real quick because this gets us into the case study. If you go not signed in, incognito or private browsing and search Spider-Man in YouTube, this is what the result is. So the first video has somebody dressed up in Elsa in a little kid's Jeep at what is supposed to be a drive-through window. It says McDonald's in the title. That doesn't look like a McDonald's to me. Then you've got a stop motion animation with some Play-Doh, and then that in a shopping cart. And I'm not going to ask what that is. Down here, you've got a kid dressed up like a cop and a Joker, and there's no visible sign of Spider-Man anywhere. And this is the top search result for Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying. We're stepping into a world that is still uncharted. And this is basically a superhero and princess genre that exists. And it's not underground, but it is because it's so huge, but it's not talked about a lot. And the reason I'm giving this as an example is just because weird things happen and keywords rule. Spider-Man and Elsa from the movie Frozen, they are the dynamic duo that rule this kingdom. Most of the video content is silent films with little sound effects and background music. The consistency and the theme is always, like, the majority of it is meant for children entertainment. All of it is not, but the majority of it is. And the videos that are cranked out are at a very high frequency. The average is about 5 videos per week. And a channel, this is what I basically am theorizing in this case study, is that a channel in this genre can become self-sustaining in views and showing up in the recommended video column on the right-hand side in as little as 7 weeks' time. And And there is a relation back to what we do for our day job, and that is the fact here that the YouTube search ranking is really not a key factor in any of this. It's all related to suggested videos that come on the sidebar or after the video finishes in that automatic playlist. So my case study is on this channel. It's called Kids Cooking and Crafts. This is a channel my sister started up in late June, but I don't think her first video was published until the very beginning of July. So for my reporting, I started it July 1st through November 30th, covering 5 months of history on this channel. And as you can see, you've got Elsa and Spider-Man, and you've got some other characters in there, and Superman's mixed in. You got some Batman, some holiday themes. But let's get to the details. The first month, July, starts off kind of slow. They're doing a lot of work to get these videos viewed by as many people as they can. So you can see that the little peak here is 3,000 views in one day towards the end of July. So from, compared to Page One Power's YouTube channel, that's pretty good. But in this world, that's just getting started. It's very small potatoes. So second month, let's see if we can go back. There we go. I might be missing a slide. Anyways, we want to find out where this traffic, sorry, I've changed the order of these. Traffic sources is vital in getting to know your YouTube channel. Study your traffic sources, find out where your current traffic is coming from, and from that you can determine if there's room for improvement or a need for change. And so here we see YouTube search is down at the bottom, placing 5th. That first 2 weeks of July, not really doing much for them. Most of their views are coming from video cards and annotations, and that was from a lot of help from other channels, collaborating together, and suggested videos is in second place, and not even 2/3 of what the top portion is. So then second month, still kind of steady pace, but it's still slow. You can see it peaks, the marker there is at 5,000 views. Follow along with me because it's about to change real quick. At the end of this second month, we hit week 7 and we see our first spike. And then at the end of the 8th week, we see a spike of 627,000 views in one day. And so that to me, I was following along and watching the view counts as my sister and her family would make these videos and post them, 5 a week. And I'd refresh, every day, go back and look at these numbers. It fascinated me. And when I saw this spike, I called my sister and I was just drilling her with questions like, where did these come from? Where did these come from? So back again to the traffic sources. And now we see that instead of the annotations and iCards, suggested videos has taken the #1 spot for traffic. And if you drill down on traffic source for suggested videos, you can see the top 5 videos that are responsible for your suggestions being clicked on and viewed, or just being autoplayed. And so there's these 2 videos that I've circled down here. They're from other channels, and the first one is this girl, and she opens a children's cooking toy. And the strange thing is, look at that title. There's a whole lot of weird stuff going on in that title. The description probably more so. And then you see the suggested videos on the side, all from different channels, but following the same model of this genre. Very similar loud color, thumbnails and titles that are just jam-packed full of these characters, as using the character names as their keywords. So the second video that's referring traffic or getting suggested videos to my sister's channel is this one, and it's about a gift that Elsa receives from Spider-Man. This is an animated channel instead of live action, and a little bit different style. I don't really know much about it. But then we see the top referring video as time goes on through the month of August. It becomes a video on their own channel. So if we go and take a look at that, this is their most popular video. This is the one that spiked in August, and it got its views from those previous two. And now that this one is trending within this genre, you see over here on the right, up at the top, their second best video is next up on this auto playlist. And then you go down a couple more spots, and their newest video is in this auto playlist. So Google, YouTube algorithm is saying, if you like this content, here, watch their next best video. And if you like that, here's their newest video, which they, is just a couple days ago. So keep that in mind. It's going to come in handy later when we get to more practical applications. So all of this is the spike patterns after 5 months. This is what happened to their traffic. So mid-August, it took off, and then it just started spiking depending on which videos did better. Then it kind of leveled off a little bit, very competitive. And I think it was just the time of year that there was just more content being put out. So it kind of just leveled the playing field. And then we got another huge spike that just happened last week. So 29 million views in 5 months' time. So let's get to real life. This is my formula that's kind of theorized from looking at these numbers. And the fact is, they've taken a trending topic or that particular genre. They've gone out and they've looked at competitors' content, specific keywords, names, what they're using in their description. And then they've also, there's some great tools out there like vidiq.com where you can basically just scrape the tags right off your competitors' videos and see, what you want to use for your own videos. But this is basically a skyscraper technique. You're taking the best of the best within your category. You're putting your own spin on it. Like my sister, she put a craft cooking spin on hers. She wanted to give it a little bit more purpose. She wanted to make it a little educational because most of it is pretty mind numbing. And if you ever see your kids staring at your phone, watching YouTube or whatever it is that they stream on, chances are they're probably watching some of this stuff. Then once you make it your own, see what your competition is doing, make it better. And I think the easiest way to make something better is making it more relevant to your audience, answering those pain points, those questions that your audience might have, but then also updating it, giving it a modern twist. If the past leader in your category is out of date, maybe their last real winner video is a year old, that's a good point where you can step in and kind of cherry pick. So that's basically the theory from the success of this channel. But suggested videos, once the channel got started and gained its own momentum on its own videos, other features in YouTube started kicking in. The browse features, as you see down here, is second. A little over 50% of the views are coming from browse features. And I told you at the beginning to pay attention or remember that homepage. The homepage is very important. When you're signed into YouTube, anybody that is signed in watching videos from this channel, they are now responsible for 8.7 million views on this channel, all coming from the homepage. That means They watch a video on Saturday, they come back to YouTube the next day, and there's new suggested videos from the same channel on their homepage waiting for them. Maybe it's the newest upload, maybe it's the most popular. The algorithm kind of shuffles that around from day to day. So, like I said, just remembering the homepage of what I'm looking at on a day-to-day basis, this is where a third or 30% of their views are coming from. So lastly, going back to search, that's what a lot of us deal with day in and day out with SEO. I wanted to still look at the details of search. It was a very small percentage, but still important. Number one search term leading people to this channel is Spider-Man, and then Frozen, and then an Arabic word, I'm guessing. I don't know exactly. Then there's an unknown, and then you got Spider-Man. So I wanted to know, I just cut and paste that foreign language word that I couldn't read, put it into Google Translate, and it is Spiderma. And as you can see with the links below, means Spider-Man, same thing. Just a different language. They're capitalizing on foreign markets. Like I said, these are children videos that have no words, they're silent, and so it appeals to a big international audience. So let's get practical. How much time do I have? All right. Page One Power. I've been looking at this channel for a couple of years now. We use it as a tool primarily just to deliver content to our subscriber list, to our webinar attendees. Not much more than that at this point. We have developed some assets that have proven to be valuable over the past life of this channel, 5 years. So when you look at the traffic source, like I said, that would be my number one suggestion for anybody that manages a YouTube channel for your own company or for a client. Most of our traffic comes from external views, and we know exactly where all that is sourced out of our email marketing and embedded on our blog, recap posts and our webinar resource page. Then you've got suggested videos as number two. And I thought that was interesting. That is where most of the traffic was coming from, the crazy Spider-Man videos. Then YouTube search, which is great to see that we're getting such a large percentage from that. So that means that we are doing a few things right, although it is a much smaller quantity. The percentages still teach us a lot of information. So I wanted to find out if this suggested video thing was the same situation as over on Spider-Man and Elsa World. And I found that this number one suggested video that's bringing traffic to our channel is a beginner tutorial about how to use Majestic for SEO. And it's Powered by Search. That's their channel name. I'm not familiar with them, but great tutorial. And look, right on the right-hand column, there's our video, a webinar that we did with Majestic a few years ago. And then we got the Google making sure that I don't miss out on any trending videos, giving me Dave Chappelle's interview with and talking about his first encounter with Kanye West. Very important stuff. So then you come back to that previous screen and you go down to the fourth spot, and there is our own video feeding suggested videos to our channel. And by that I mean, when you go to our video, this is our video with the most views on our channel. It's humble, I know, but over on the right-hand side, we've got videos from competitors on the similar topics, but then you also have our newest video and this one down here, which is from our top 5. Might be even our top 3. But once again, Google's algorithm is doing the work for you as long as you have content to fill those spots. Remember back in the first slide with the BuzzSumo video, there was 4 or 5 other recommended videos, all from the same BuzzSumo channel. So my channel or my challenge is get out there, make some videos, try this formula for 8 weeks, figure out what your competition's doing, go after one of their top videos, create something similar, and then continue to make video content. If this is something that you're interested in, I challenge you to try this out, get back to me in February, and prove me wrong with what your results are. So that's probably past my time. Thank you very much. That's my sister. I tripped her and gave her black eyes. And that was in the 80s. So